Change the previous example to include one array which has one dictionary, and the dictionary has multiple key value pairs. In the previous example, I had one array and many dictionaries, each dictionary containing only one name value pair. So that's what we're going to do next. So as you see right here, I have a dictionary. I initialize it, I set an object in it, and I add it to the dictionaries object. The same, reinitialize it, set some key value pairs, and I add it to the dictionaries array. So dictionaries is the array. If I had named it dictionaries array, maybe that would have made more sense. But you can see up here, dictionaries is an array, dictionary is a dictionary, and it's mutable dictionary, dictionary for short. So that's where we're going to make the change. So I'm going to use this example to show how to refactor your code at the same time, in addition to showing how to store multiple name value pairs in a dictionary. So I'm not going to do this. What I want to really do is now I'm going to try to do this. I'm just going to take this right here, refactoring code. I'm going to copy it and paste it right in there. So I am thinking that now I have added two name value pairs to this dictionary and added the dictionary to the array. I can delete this because the last name has been set over there. Now the other thing I said was we want to do dictionary. If this was dictionaries array, maybe that would make more sense. Array with dictionary or something like that. So I'm going to double click it, right click, and wait for the context menu to show up, and refactor, rename, and call it array of dictionary, and I'm going to click preview and it'll show me what changes it's going to make. Okay, looks like it's going to make just one change. That doesn't sound right. Here, okay, no more than one. It's going to make the change here and here and here, and where else? Only in this method, so I'm going to say save. And there you go. Did it make the change? Yes. Array of dictionary. Then now we have NS mutable dictionary. Now at the same time, now let's, you see this line is sticking out a little bit, so I'm going to press Command A, right click it, or actually go back to editor, format, and look for, okay, let's right click, structure, reindent. Okay, so refactoring, and you saw the reindent the code, so it looks beautiful. So it got moved a little bit to the right, so they're all aligned here. You can see they fall, these lines are between these lines right here, 33 and 43. So there you go, refactoring and reindenting. Now what we got here is I have an array. I have one dictionary, add one item to it, add second item to it, add the dictionary to the array. Now how are we going to read this? Well, usually the programming goes is you make a change, then you test it, see at least this part is working, the right part. So I'm going to run this application and make sure if at least there are no errors in this method, then proceed over to reading it. So I'm going to type in my click on write. Everything went okay. Great. So now we're going to fix the right part. Now how do you read a dictionary that is in an array and it has multiple items? So what we have so far, we have dictionaries. So we're going to it did not refactor that one because, well, because there was why was that happen? Well, it's only defined within this method, not at the class level. So it's gonna only refactor it within this scope. So that's one key when you refactor. So I have to refactor this dictionaries in this method a second time, or not a second time, separately. Right click, refactor, rename, array of dictionary, preview. Okay, now it's gonna only do it within this method. Same. If it was defined in a header, then it would probably do the header in the class and wherever it's used. So that you gotta mind that part when refactoring. Okay, so what do we have? We have an array of dictionaries and we load it up with the contents of this file. Then you say for each dictionary in array of dictionaries, we found all the keys in it and we loop through it. So I think this code will still work, only that it'll make more loops. Previously it was making just one for loop because each dictionary had one key. So it'll go through and do two loops here, and then in this array it'll just loop one time. So let's click on this breakpoint and run this application again, and this time I'm going to click on read. It'll stop there. Let's see what's going on. Step over. Okay, for each dictionary key arrays. Okay, how many things okay, you see now this dictionary has two objects in it. Good. Yeah, I did have two objects. What was the first one? The key here is I'm gonna look it up here. First name, and its value is Bashir, and if key name is, set the first name. If it's last name, skip over, go to the next. What's the count here? Key array count, I don't know. Key is this time last name, value is this time is Bashir. So if it's first key is first name, no. If it's last name, yeah, set the value, and there we go. Didn't have to make any change there. Now this was one small subject, and as you see that it took a lot of time and there are a lot of intricacies. But you basically see the technique that if you had a form to fill out, for example, here's a form, and you had first name, last name, middle name, and you are going on and on. You have several screens. So this would be the technique to store all that information onto the iPhone or iPad and retrieve it back. Now as a homework, what I want you to do is add middle initial right in the middle here, and then store it and retrieve it back. And then pause this video and then come back and compare your solution with my solution. Back. Let's see what you did and how I did it. Okay, of course, so I need to make a little space right here, so I'm gonna click and drag to select all of them. Press down arrow to move these down. I pressed down arrow and held it down. I need a label right there, so I'm gonna go, if this is not visible, then I can make the utility area visible. I'm gonna drag a label up there. I'm gonna drag a text box up there and line it up, move it, press up arrow to move it up a little bit, make it equally distributed, equal distance. Now label, I want to change this label from just saying label to middle initial. Remember what tab was it? It was this one, the attribute inspector. Got to know the technical names of these things. Attribute inspector. Initial. It does not fit. Pressing right arrow to move it that way. Oh, sorry. So nib file again. Now what do I need to do? I need to open up MH and nib file in the same area. I'm going to click on this one. No, I'm going to click on the nib file. Open the assistant editor. Yeah, I don't need the M file. I need to open the nib file, no M file. I'm gonna click on the assistant editor to open a .h file. Select my button. Go to the connections inspector. Yeah, connections inspector. And I want the touch up inside. No, I need an IB outlet. Right. There'll be new referencing outlets. I'm going to click and drag right after this IB outlet. I'm going to call it middle initial. So I got a middle initial right there. Step 2. Open the M file on the left side, H on the right side. I'm going to come down here and close this at utility inspector, and I'm going to copy and paste this thing. I'm going to write it first, then read it. Okay, is there a middle inspector right here? No, nothing is showing up, so I'm missing a step here. What step did I miss? I didn't synthesize. Middle initial. Now if I type MIDD, middle initial, that text is going to be called so I've written it. I'm going to go to the read section. I am going to copy and paste this part. Control C. I click delete, so I had to get it back I had to press Command Z. Now Control V again. If middle initial, say you're refactoring, copying and pasting. Let's see if it'll work. Right. Okay, iOS simulator. Close it. Run it again. When it comes up, I'll click read. It did not pick up the middle initial, so it's not been written. Something is wrong. Let's debug it. Middle initial. Is it misspelled? Yes, it is. I spelled it wrong. I hope somebody caught this. Get rid of this breakpoint. Still didn't read it. because maybe I saved it with the wrong key, so I gotta try it again. Now you're seeing the debugging process, right? So if I was just to delete it, there you go, it read it back. To confirm it, I'm gonna stop it, run it again. When it comes up, I'll click on read. Okay, ready to try it. There you go. Bashar Y, middle initial and last name. So there you go. Now you have done this. See how you did it compared with how